Boys and girls, welcome to our last new section of the year. We like it so much we're going to spend 2 days on it. Okay, so our first day of adding and subtracting rational expressions, we're going to be talking about adding and subtracting fractions. And remember, we need a common denominator. Okay, so today we're pretty much just going to do the pretty easy examples, and we're going to kind of ease into this last section here. Cash is maybe or maybe not going to be able to spell denominator. There she goes. Okay, so when we have a common denominator, what we're going to do is we're going to add the numerators, and then we will check if there's anything we can factor out and reduce. Remember, we'll just combine our like terms, watch your signs, all that stuff we've been doing all year. Okay, so we look at number 1, we have y plus 1 over 2y plus 5 over 2y. We have a common denominator, so let's just combine our numerators. Y plus 1 plus 5, it's all over 2y. And then let's combine our like terms, our constants, 1 and 5. So y plus 6 over 2y. We check that there's nothing we can factor out. There is not. And that's our answer. Let's go ahead and do the next one. 2 over 5x plus 3 over 5x. We'll do 2 plus 3. Some tough math. 2 plus 3 will give us 5. So a 5 over 5x. Now here, we will be able to reduce. So we'll divide our 5's out, and then we will reduce that down to 1 over x or 1 over 1x. Remember, you have to have something in your numerator. You can't just leave it blank, so make sure you use that 1 as a placeholder. And number 3. Our denominator this time is a binomial, x plus 3. It's not going to change what we do. We still combine our numerators, x plus 1. We'll combine our like terms as 2x plus 1 all over x plus 3. We check that there's nothing we can factor, and that's our answer. Let's go ahead and look at some subtraction. Okay, subtraction, when we have a common denominator, the rules are the same. You just might want to make yourself a note to watch your signs. So we will subtract our numerators. Okay, so we have 7 over x plus 1 minus 8 over x plus 1. We'll combine our numerators, 7 minus 8. We'll get negative 1. And remember, our denominator doesn't change, so negative 1 over x plus 1. That's all there is to that one. Number next, 6x minus 2x, and that'll be over x squared. So we have 4x over x squared. Now before we circle this answer, we have to make sure there's nothing that we can reduce out. And we have an x both in the numerator and the denominator, so we'll reduce that down to, ooh, look at that, she's breaking it down. We'll reduce it down to 4 over x. Okay. This last one, since we have a binomial in the numerator, we're going to go ahead and show how we're going to distribute that negative sign to both the 5x and the negative 11. So we will do, put parentheses around it. That might help you to keep your work organized. 3x minus 4, and then minus 5x plus 11. Okay, so remember, we're distributing that negative sign to both of those terms. So we have, that is all over 2x plus 3. So now 3x minus 5x is negative 2x, and negative 4 plus 11 will be plus 7. That is over 2x plus 3. Remember, even though we have a 2x, both in the numerator and the denominator, we can't factor anything the same, so we cannot reduce that at all, so that is our final answer. Hopefully, these first 6 examples have been pretty simple for you. We're going to go ahead and talk about what happens when we don't have a common denominator. Well, the same thing as when you don't have a common denominator with regular fractions. So we're going to determine our least common denominator, our LCD, and then we'll just multiply in order to get a common denominator. Later, Cummings, we had a visitor, just so you all know. Okay, so when we have 5x over 4 and 2 over 5x, we're trying to determine what would make 4 and 5x the same thing. Well, if we do 4 times 4x, our LCD would be 20x. So our denominator we're trying to get is 20x. So when we look at our first fraction, 5x over 4, we're going to need to multiply that by 5x over 5x. So now this new fraction becomes 25x squared over 20x. And now let's look at the second fraction, 2 over 5x, and let's multiply this by 4 over 4. So now we have 8 over 20x, and now we can see that we have two fractions with a common denominator. So our new problem is 25 over x squared, 25x squared over 20x plus 8 over 20x. And now we can just add our two numerators together. We don't have like terms, so our numerator will be a binomial, 25x squared plus 8 over 20x. We're checking we don't have anything to factor out of the numerator, we don't have a GCF, so that's going to go ahead and be our final answer. Next one. 13 over 3y minus 2 over 11y. We see that both denominators have the same variable to the same degree, so that's good. So we're just trying to determine what between 3 and 33 is a common denominator. So our least common denominator is going to be 33y. So we will take 13 over 3y and we're going to multiply that by 11 over 11. Cash is under the pressure to do her some fast math. We have 143 over 33y, and then we will multiply 2 over 11y, and if you want to make that 2 a negative, that might help you to stay organized. We'll multiply this by 3 over 3. So now we have negative 6 over 33y. Again, now we have our common denominator, and now we will just go ahead and combine our numerator. So 143 over 33y minus 6 over 33y. We will end up with 137 over 33y. That right there will be our final answer since we have nothing we can reduce out. And let's try two more here. These are a little bit more complicated, but they don't necessarily need to be. So when we look at number 9, we have x plus 4 and x minus 7 as our denominators. Let's go ahead and let's just multiply each of these fractions by the other one's denominator. So for this one, we will multiply the second fraction by x plus 4 over x plus 4, and we will multiply the first fraction by x minus 7 over x minus 7. When we do this, this makes our common denominator x minus 7 times x plus 4. So, okay, so let's go ahead and see how this works out here. So we will distribute So we'll do 3 times x minus 7 and get 3x minus 21. And let's just go ahead and leave our denominator as x plus 4 times x minus 7. Doesn't matter which order you write those two binomials in. And for our second fraction, we'll do 2 over x minus 7 times x plus 4 over x plus 4. We'll distribute our numerator 2x plus 8 over x minus 7 times x plus 4. So now what we've done is we've made these two fractions have a common denominator. So now we can go ahead and we can add these like we had been doing on numbers 1 through 6. So we're just rewriting 3x minus 21 over our common denominator plus 2x minus 8 also, or excuse me, 2x plus 8 all over our common denominator. And remember our rules for fractions. If we have a common denominator, we just add the numerators. So 3x plus 2x will give us 5x, and negative 21 plus 8 will give us negative 13 or minus 13, and that's over our common denominator of x minus 7 and x plus 4. There's nothing we can factor out of our numerator, so that's going to go ahead and be our answer. And number last, we're looking here, we both of our denominators have an x. However, one is to the first power and one is to the second power. So we're going to need our LCD to have x squared in it. And then the common denominator between 7 and 3 is going to be 21. Okay, so that's our common denominator. So we need to determine what do we multiply 3x squared by to get to 21x. So hopefully you're thinking 7 over 7. And our first fraction, we're thinking we need 7x to turn into 21x squared. We're going to multiply that by 3x over 3x. Okay, so our numerator, 3x times 6, will give us 18x over 21x squared. And then minus, we'll do 2 times 7, 14 over 21x squared. Again, common denominator, we'll just subtract our numerators. We'll have 18x minus 14 over 21x squared. Now we would be able to factor a 2 out of 18 and 14, but since it's not going to do us any good, we can go ahead and circle this as our final answer. We know that the first part of this is probably pretty easy, and the second part gets a little bit more confusing. So we're going to focus most of our energy on these last 4 questions when we practice in class on Friday. So if you have questions, make sure you take note of them. The back of that note sheet is going to be what we work through in class on Friday. So make sure you bring this completed note sheet with the worksheet. Have a lovely evening.